What if the collapse of globalization isn't the end, but the beginning of a new world? Explore the rise and fall of nations, the reshaping of economies, and the geopolitics that will define our future. Introduction. Globalization, once the lifeblood of modern economies, is unraveling before our eyes. But this isn't just a story of decline. It's an opportunity to understand and prepare for the world that's coming next. Drawing on the insights of geopolitical strategist Peter Zeihan, this audiobook delves into the forces behind the collapse of interconnected economies and explores the winners, losers, and opportunities in the post-globalized era. Through vivid storytelling and eye-opening analysis, you'll discover how geography, demographics, and innovation will shape the future. Whether you're an investor, policymaker, or curious learner, this audiobook is your guide to thriving in a rapidly changing world. Focus points. Are we doomed? Explore the fragility of globalization and why its collapse is inevitable. How far can nomads go? Examine the limits of mobility and the critical role of stable geography. The land of opportunities. Unpack the regions poised for growth and prosperity in the new order. The grim future of finance. Analyze the challenges facing financial systems and where not to invest. What will fuel our future? Understand the shifting dynamics of energy and its implications for global power. Surviving a food crisis. Discover how food security will define geopolitical alignments and societal stability. Conclusion, a new dawn. Reflect on the lessons of the past and the possibilities of a redefined future. Learning outcomes. Understand the geographical, demographic, and economic factors that shape global success. Recognize the role of the United States in the emerging world order and its implications. Identify investment risks and opportunities in a post-globalized world. Gain insights into which countries are likely to thrive or struggle as globalization wanes. Learn practical strategies to navigate energy and food security challenges. Join us on MediaDeem as we uncover Peter Zeihan's groundbreaking perspectives and explore the intricate forces driving the next chapter of human history. This is more than an audiobook. It's your guide to understanding and preparing for tomorrow. Focus point 1. Are we doomed? The past few decades have been a golden age in human history, marked by incredible advancements in technology, science, and global connectivity. Consider this. 70 years ago, the idea of holding the world's knowledge in the palm of your hand or communicating instantly across the globe would have been dismissed as pure fantasy. Yet today, we live in a world where smartphones, artificial intelligence, and seamless digital transactions are the norm. A major driver of this unparalleled progress has been globalization. Following the devastation of World War II, the United States championed the creation of NATO, not just as a military alliance to counterbalance the Soviet Union, but as a foundation for fostering global stability. With the U.S. as a dominant force, countries, especially those within NATO, found the confidence to engage in international trade, laying the groundwork for the interconnected economy we benefit from today. This cooperative environment allowed nations to thrive, innovate, and leap forward in their economic development. But history reminds us that no system remains unchallenged forever. As with all periods of prosperity, cracks begin to form, and the unthinkable, the decline of globalization, is no longer a distant possibility. Trade networks, economies, and consumption patterns that have sustained us for decades are showing signs of strain. This unraveling could accelerate within the next few years, fundamentally reshaping the world as we know it. Are we truly doomed, or are we on the brink of a transformative shift? By understanding the underlying forces at play, we can uncover the new geography of success and prepare for what lies ahead. Join us as we explore this pivotal moment in human history and what it means for the future. Focus point 2. How far can nomads go? To understand the geographies of success, we need to take a journey back to our beginnings. Our ancestors started as wanderers, moving across landscapes in search of food. But this wasn't the peaceful coexistence with nature we might imagine. It was a brutal competition against predators, climate challenges, and rival groups. Survival required constant movement, but this lifestyle changed dramatically with one transformative discovery: the agricultural power of fertilized soil. When early humans realized they could grow their food, everything shifted. Nomads became settlers, and for the first time, geography began to dictate success. The most prosperous societies emerged in regions with 3 key features. Mild seasonality. This allowed for year-round agriculture, ensuring a consistent food supply. Rivers. These were lifelines, providing water for crops, transportation for goods, and energy for technologies like water wheels. Natural barriers. Mountains, deserts, or seas offered protection against invasions, allowing civilizations to flourish in relative security. Regions like the Nile, Indus, and the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys epitomized this ideal. These areas provided a balance of resources and protection that enabled civilizations to thrive for millennia. As human ingenuity advanced, so did the boundaries of opportunity. The use of wind power, first for farming and later for maritime technology, expanded the scope of success. The age of wind-powered ships gave rise to naval powers like Great Britain, Spain, and Portugal, which reaped the benefits of protected coastal locations and maritime dominance. The next seismic shift came with the Industrial Revolution, which rewrote the rules of success once again. Rivers and wind lost their central role as human innovation birthed new energy sources and technologies. Economic power no longer relied solely on geography, but on technological advancement and industrial capacity. However, this evolution came at a price. Technological competition escalated into wars of unprecedented destruction, altering the landscape of global power. Today, as the world faces fresh challenges, climate change, resource scarcity, and geopolitical upheaval, the geography of success continues to evolve. Thriving in this ever-changing environment demands innovation, adaptation, and a deeper understanding of the forces shaping our world. From nomads to industrial titans, the story of success has always been about leveraging the right resources at the right time. The question now is, where will the next era of success take us? Focus point 3, the land of opportunities. While European nations were embroiled in battles for power and influence, the United States quietly emerged as the prime example of the perfect geography of success. Its unique location, natural resources, and ability to adapt to change set it apart as a land of unmatched opportunity. A secure location. One of the most significant advantages of the U.S. is its geographic isolation and secure borders. With just two neighbors, Canada and Mexico, the U.S. is shielded from many of the threats other countries face. Canada, sharing the longest and least patrolled border in the world, the relationship between these two nations is built on trust and cooperation, posing no threat of invasion. Mexico. The southern border is naturally fortified by harsh desert terrain, making large-scale military invasions virtually impossible. This geographic security has allowed the U.S. to focus its energy on internal development and trade without the looming threat of hostile invasions. A natural trade powerhouse. The U.S. coastline is another critical advantage. The country's extensive and indented coasts create naturally protected ports, ideal for trade and economic development. With access to both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, the U.S. positioned itself as a global trade hub, connecting to Europe, Asia, and beyond. Even if the U.S. decided to isolate itself entirely from the rest of the world, its vast natural resources and geographic position would allow it to sustain itself without significant consequences. Industrialization done differently. When industrialization swept through Europe, it brought with it revolutions, wars, and significant social unrest. The U.S., however, experienced a smoother transition. Several factors contributed to this. Abundant land. The country's vast territory kept land prices low, enabling industrial growth without the intense competition seen in Europe. Immigration boom. Waves of immigrants provided a steady supply of affordable labor, further fueling industrial expansion. Phased industrialization. Unlike Europe, where industrialization hit rapidly and disruptively, the U.S. transitioned gradually. Cities embraced industry first, with smaller towns and rural areas adapting later. This measured approach allowed the U.S. to avoid much of the chaos Europe experienced, solidifying its position as an industrial leader. Opportunities amid uncertainty. Adapting to a new way of life is never easy, and the U.S. faced its own challenges in breaking from old traditions. But its willingness to innovate and embrace change has consistently set it apart. As the world faces an uncertain future, the U.S. remains a testament to how geography, resources, and adaptability can create unparalleled opportunities. The question now is whether these advantages will hold as globalization retreats and the rules of success shift once again. Will the U.S. continue to lead, or will it face challenges that even its geographic blessings cannot shield it from? Focus point 4. The grim future of finance. The financial landscape we've come to rely on is teetering on the brink of a collapse driven by demographic shifts and systemic vulnerabilities. Two undeniable forces are accelerating this trajectory, and they will reshape economies and financial systems worldwide. 1. Aging populations and workforce decline. One of the most significant challenges facing the global economy is the rapid aging of the population. Retiree surge. The baby boomer generation, which once formed the backbone of the global workforce, is retiring en masse. This demographic shift will peak during the 2020s and 2030s, straining resources that rely on active taxpayers. Generation gap. Post-1980, declining birth rates mean there aren't enough younger workers to replace retirees, leading to economic stagnation. Retirees' consumption of government resources will outpace the capacity of the working population to replenish them. 2. Fiat currency fragility. Many developed nations have built their economies around fiat currency, money not backed by physical commodities. This reliance creates a domino effect. When fiat currencies collapse, the economies that depend on them will crumble alongside. What lies ahead? Predictions for the financial future. Shifting geography of success. As capital generation becomes more difficult, Northern Europe will emerge as a financial stronghold due to its economic policies and resource management. Disrupted technology sector. Innovation will face severe obstacles. Expensive R&D. Breakthroughs in technology often demand massive investments in research and development. With capital becoming scarce, such investments will dwindle. Talent shortages. An aging workforce and fewer skilled professionals will slow technological progress. Capital controls. Financial institutions will tighten their grip on money transfers. The ease of moving capital globally, a hallmark of the modern economy, will diminish as scarcity drives stricter regulations. Populism on the rise. Politicians will cater to aging populations by offering promises of stability and a secure future. Expect populist rhetoric and policies focused on sustaining pension systems, even as the financial reality grows increasingly dire. Military aggression. Nations will resort to assertive military actions to secure resources and distract from domestic financial turmoil. However, the U.S. will likely remain insulated from this trend due to its unique combination of geographical and demographic advantages. Where to invest and where to avoid. Safe zones. Northern Europe offers favorable conditions for capital growth. High-risk zones. Countries with rapidly aging populations, such as South Korea, Japan, China, and Germany, will struggle to sustain their economies. Avoid investing in these regions. A new financial landscape. The world is approaching a turning point where traditional economic models and financial systems will give way to new realities. The question isn't whether change is coming. It's whether we are prepared to navigate the challenges and seize the opportunities of this grim yet transformative future. Focus point 5. What will fuel our future? The global energy sector, particularly oil, is on the cusp of a transformative crisis. Oil's pivotal role in powering transportation, trade, and business operations makes any disruption in its supply chain a threat to the global economy. Even minor changes in demand cause substantial price volatility, amplifying the impact of any downturn. The fragility of oil dependence. Critical role of oil. Oil drives the engines of commerce and travel, and without it, transportation networks will falter, stalling global trade and business operations. Price volatility. A mere 10% fluctuation in oil demand can result in a staggering 75% shift in oil prices, signaling the sector's sensitivity to even minor disruptions. The global oil landscape. The Persian Gulf. Key players: Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Oman. Challenges: heavy reliance on foreign expertise due to underdeveloped educational systems. Weak naval forces to secure coastlines and ensure safe trade routes. Risks: these countries are vulnerable to geopolitical instability and supply chain disruptions. Russia. While Russia has vast oil reserves, its fields are located far from major consumers, requiring costly infrastructure improvements. Challenges: political instability and geographical hurdles make its oil industry less sustainable in the long run. North America. Comprising the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, this region remains a significant exporter of oil. Advantages: proximity to domestic markets and established infrastructure ensure more stability compared to other regions. Winners and losers in an oil collapse. Countries most affected: Germany, South Korea, and China. Located at the end of supply chains, making them vulnerable to disruptions. Lack of accessible natural resources and insufficient military power exacerbate their challenges. Moderately impacted nations: United Kingdom, Japan, India, and France. These nations benefit from favorable geography and stronger military capabilities, allowing them to secure resources. Survivors and innovators: United States. Geographical advantages and resource availability position the U.S. to weather the crisis. The U.S. will likely lead the transition to renewable energy sources, capitalizing on its vast solar and wind energy potential. Transitioning to sustainable energy. Reducing oil dependence. Use public transportation. Adopt electric vehicles and carpooling. Future energy sources. Solar energy. The U.S.'s proximity to the equator makes it ideal for solar power development. Wind energy. The country's expansive flatlands provide ample opportunities for wind energy generation. Key takeaway: the days of inexpensive, reliable oil shipments are nearing their end. Countries that prepare for this transition by investing in sustainable energy and reducing reliance on oil will emerge as leaders in the new energy landscape. The days of reliable, inexpensive oil shipments are coming to an inglorious end. Peter Zeihan. Focus Point 6. Surviving a food crisis. Food crises present a unique and critical challenge as food production cannot be accelerated quickly, unlike consumer goods. Crops like corn require at least 6 months to grow, and livestock takes even longer, especially in organic farming, where timelines extend to 24 months. A disruption in agriculture due to energy, finance, or transportation issues could have far-reaching consequences. Key preparedness strategies. Stock up on non-perishable food items to ensure survival during prolonged shortages. Diversify your diet to adapt to potentially limited food availability. Impact of food supply disruptions by country. Countries likely to overcome the crisis: United States, France, and Canada. These nations are self-sufficient in agriculture, with access to finances, equipment, and resources. Strong export capabilities provide an additional layer of resilience. Countries with a good chance of survival: New Zealand, Argentina, Sweden, Australia, and Turkey. These exporters have sufficient resources in their regions to sustain agricultural production during crises. Geopolitically dependent exporters: Finland, Croatia, Brazil, South Africa, and the Netherlands. Survival depends on maintaining favorable geopolitical relationships. Any threat from neighboring nations could destabilize food production and exports. Resilient importers: Singapore, Chile, Colombia, Iceland, Indonesia, and Malaysia. Geographical proximity and diplomatic ties to exporting nations help secure food supplies, even during global disruptions. Vulnerable importers: Uzbekistan, Morocco, Tunisia, Bangladesh, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Greece. These nations are at the mercy of neighboring countries that may manipulate food prices or establish dominance in times of crisis. The global risk of famine. Famine is a catastrophic event with devastating societal impacts, more lethal than war or disease. It destabilizes countries and often leads to long-term geopolitical and social turmoil. Key takeaways: nations with strong agricultural exports and resources are more likely to endure a food crisis. Import-dependent countries must forge strong diplomatic and trade relationships to secure access to food supplies. Stockpiling non-perishable foods and diversifying agricultural strategies will be crucial for survival during food shortages. More than war, more than disease, famine is the ultimate country killer. Peter Zeihan. Conclusion: facing the future with resilience. The next 2 decades will bring significant economic, demographic, and environmental challenges, and there is no denying the difficulties ahead. However, beyond these tough times lies the promise of recovery and growth. By the 2040s, North America, particularly the United States and Mexico, is poised to emerge stronger and more prosperous. If you're seeking a thriving place for long-term opportunities, this may be your beacon of hope. Preparing for tomorrow. Practice adaptability and flexibility. Embrace change by seeking new experiences, learning diverse skills, and staying open-minded. The ability to adapt quickly to evolving circumstances will be a key survival skill. Stay informed about global events. Stay connected to reputable news outlets to remain updated on world developments. Attend conferences, or participate in discussions to gain insights and prepare for global shifts. Build a resilient network. Foster relationships through professional organizations, mentorships, and collaborations. A strong network can provide support and opportunities during uncertain times. Hope for a better tomorrow. Though the road may be challenging, humanity has proven its ability to persevere through adversity. By adapting, staying informed, and cultivating strong connections, we can navigate the turbulence ahead and emerge into a brighter, more prosperous future. Key focus points. Shifting geography of success. North America, particularly the US and Mexico, will dominate future prosperity due to favorable demographics, resources, and geography. Economic challenges. Aging populations and reliance on fiat currency will stress global financial systems, with significant impacts on retirement funds and capital availability. Energy crisis. Oil dependence and vulnerable supply chains will disrupt transportation and trade, making renewable energy crucial for future stability. Food security. Agricultural resilience will dictate survival, with exporting countries like the US, France, and Canada best positioned to weather disruptions. Preparing for change, adaptability, staying informed, and building strong connections will be critical for thriving in an uncertain world. Recommendations. Adapt and diversify skills. Stay agile by learning new skills and embracing diverse opportunities. Flexibility will be essential in adapting to change. Reduce dependence on oil. Opt for public transportation, electric vehicles, and renewable energy sources to prepare for future energy transitions. Ensure food security. Stock non-perishable items and support local agriculture to enhance resilience in times of scarcity. Stay informed. Follow global events closely and engage with thought leaders to stay ahead of critical developments. Build a resilient network. Foster relationships that support personal and professional growth during turbulent times. This audiobook has explored the challenges and opportunities shaping our future, offering insights into critical global dynamics such as demographics, energy, and food security. Understanding these trends empowers us to navigate uncertainties and make informed decisions. We sincerely thank you for taking the time to explore these essential topics with us. Your curiosity and commitment to understanding the world's complexities are inspiring. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who would benefit from this knowledge. Remember, listening to content like this not only deepens your understanding, but also enhances your language skills. As we always say, the more you listen, the better you speak. Keep listening, learning, and growing with us.